All right, guys, welcome back to another one. This is a little different than my cars and coffee or my normal car videos I do. So today I get to introduce my new project car. So I still have the R32. I am nowhere done with working on that one. So that one's definitely going to be a long-term project, and it just keeps going for everything that's involved in that one. So in the meantime, I get that itch, and like I need to work on another project car. So this is the new one I've picked up. Have you guys guessed at what it is yet from the thumbnail, or you guessed at what it is, which you can kind of see under the car cover here? So I don't want to spoil it yet, but so I brought home a new project car. So I'm going to show you guys what it is. We'll talk about it a little bit, talk about what the plans are and everything else for it. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Drop those comments below. I actually want to hear what you think. I want to hear, for this specific project, which direction you'd go or have gone, and which direction you think I should go with this. So I'm gonna pull the tarp off, and you guys let me know what you think. Did you know which project car this was? Could you tell? Did you already know? All right, come on, let's open it up and I'll show you. All right, so there it is. We have a beautiful, spotless, 100% pristine, basically brand new. No, okay. So I got myself this NA Miata. Now, if you guys haven't seen any of my other videos regarding my car reviews and everything else, I got to drive an MB. I've driven a couple NAs, and I really enjoy the car. The car is a ton of fun. The car is a blast on the track. It's a blast through the canyons, and it's just like, I forget how I phrased it, but it was like, the smile per mile, or the smile that you get every lap you put on the car, like that. Like, everything about the car is just fun. And I don't want to, I'm not knocking any of the like spec Miata guys and everything else, because those guys are super serious and like they're balls to the wall crazy. But for me, like an NA or even the MB, like, these are just fun cars. Like, I can't look at it and just be mad. Like, I look at it, you get to pop-ups and everything else, and it's just a fun car. So I had the opportunity to pick this one up. I got it for a good price, which is great, and it doesn't run. So that's my first challenge here, is it doesn't run. And it isn't because, well, it has no engine. So like, there's nothing in there. So but as I'll show you guys, and as I work through the project, I really don't, what I don't want to do for you guys is I don't want to do a single 20-minute video all in high speed with, oh hey look, the engine goes in, oh hey look, I did this, oh hey look, I did this, oh hey look, I did this, oh hey look, it's on the track, and whatever. It's not the type of video I want to do for you guys. So what I'm looking to do is, I already have two engines for this. supposedly the one is running, so we're going to find that out together. The other one I have is partially built, so what I need to do is I need to go through that engine and determine the partially built pistons, head, all of that kind of stuff, if it was done correctly, and I need to go through it myself for that, you know. So I've got two. I'm going to work through the process with you guys. I want to show you things. I want to kind of go through it like most of us do, whether or not it's our first car or our 100th car, you know, that's a project car. Once we get in it, you know, what's the first 2 things you do? What's the first 5 things you do? What's the first, you know, 100 things you do to work through that project? So you guys drop those comments. You know, I'm already waiting on parts. I'm already collecting parts. I'm already doing all that, you know. So I'll show you guys a little bit. I'll show you the interior. The interior is actually really nice on the car. The car chassis wise doesn't have a ton of miles on it, but it has been sitting. So I need to go through it. There's just going to be a ton of stuff that's not, you know, that's not safe. That's not up to, you know, that's not up to where you need it. You know, brakes is an example. Brakes are going to be one of the first things I have to do on this car even before it runs, because it's been sitting so long. Everything, you know, all your rubber, all your, you know, the tires, all of that stuff. This actually, at this point, I already had to put tires on it because the way I brought it home, all the tires were flat, all the valve stems were rotted. Like I couldn't get air in the tires if I needed to. So, I mean, at this point, for anybody with a sharp eye, you'll notice I already have tires on it, but I'll show you that process too, and what tires I decided to get for it and put on it. But let me walk you guys through. I'm going to show you a little B-roll of the car itself. The car overall actually isn't in bad condition. The exterior really isn't in bad condition. It's, you know, got that normal California paint fade, you know, the clear coat peeling and everything else. So that'll be another discussion that we'll have, is do I repaint it? Do I just sand it and wrap it? Does it end up flat black like every other project car? But yeah, so let me show you guys the car a little bit. Let's run through it. We'll talk about this part a little bit, and you guys let me know what you think of the new project car. Alright guys, so like I was saying, there's nothing under the hood. I mean, well, I guess not nothing. You know, we still have, you know, our reservoirs. We still have, you know, a lot of the wiring and everything else, which wasn't destroyed, which is a good sign. So whoever pulled the engine, you know, it wasn't like pulled in the junkyard or anything like that. You know, so we'll go through it. We'll get it all cleaned out. We'll see what's still usable. We'll see what I have to replace. I mean, for anybody with that keen eye, you'll see it's missing a radiator. You know, it's missing an engine. And so I've got my cowl. I've got a handful of, you know, small stuff that I'm not as concerned about. Still have AC lines, everything else. You know, you've got steering rack, everything down there. So I'm gonna go through it. Once we get the engine dropped in, we'll go from there and start adding all the little accessories and everything else it needs. So like I was saying, we'll take a look at the car itself. Like, you look at the body's pretty straight. You know, we have paint fade, we got a cracked turn indicator. That's easy, you know that gets replaced anyways. But yeah, overall the body's really not bad. The top is like any other top you'd expect. It's got tears and everything else in it, so it'll be whether or not I replace the top or whether or not I go to, you know, just put a hard top in it, no rear window, kind of the expected. But like I was saying, it's not bad. The body's straight. It hasn't been hammered or anything, which is great. Interior wise, I was actually really surprised. We're missing the upper cover here, which, you know, from my research and everything else, those just crack and go away. You can see there's no shift or anything else because there's no trans in it. There's no rear. There's no rear end. It's kind of like a rolling chassis at this point. But dash doesn't look too bad. It's got a little crack up at the top. Seat's got to go. You know, for what we're gonna do, probably put a set of race seats in it and everything else. Mismatching, you know, I have something to go in here right away, but steering wheel's chewed up too, so it gives us the opportunity to put all fun stuff in here. But yeah, so like overall it's really not that bad. One of the fun things about the Miatas is these aren't electronic, these are all manual, so you just unclip it and just throw it back when you're ready. The rear trunk space and everything else is clean, so I don't know. Overall, I'm really happy with it. You guys let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you think it's, you know, if it's even worth a project. If you guys would have even messed with this one. All right, guys, so that's the project. Let's head inside. Let's talk about it for a minute. Let's kind of go over, you know, if you guys have watched me, if you guys have, you know, been on my channel for a little bit, you know I do plan stuff out. So let's head inside. Let's talk about it for a few minutes. And like I said, you guys drop those comments. Let me know if I'm doing it right, if you do it differently or anything else. And yeah, come on, let's head inside. All right, guys, so now that we're back inside, I figured I would talk to you a little bit more about the project, kind of break things down a little bit more. Like I was saying outside, if you guys know me, or, you know, if you've been following me or whatever, you know, I typically have some sort of plan, or at least I think I have a plan, or hope I have a plan. I don't know, something like that. But I do, so anytime I do one of my project cars, I typically build it out, or build it as far as I can on paper first. So same thing goes for the Miata. I've been going through and kind of working on what I'm looking for, you know, or where I'd like to go with the car. So I just want to share a couple of those things with you. And like I said, I want to talk about it. I actually appreciate your comments. If you know, you have real world experience, if you've already owned a Miata, if your buddies owned a Miata and this is what they went through, what worked, didn't work, you know, that's all extremely valuable information, not only for me, but for anybody else that watches this video later and comments and everything else. My plan is to kind of take you along for the ride with me on the car. So as I'm doing each stage of thing, you know, each kind of thing that I do, I want to show you guys. Like I said, I don't want to just do a 20-minute video and hey, it's start to finish, hey, the car is done. So what I'd like to do is take you guys through, you know, the next month or two, whatever it happens to take to get, you know, I build in stages. So, you know, I usually list, typically for me, a stage is a year. And within that year, I'd like to complete a stage. So I try and lay it out that way. For this car, what I'm thinking is what I'd like to do, and I'm just kind of reading through my game plan right here, is, you know, I don't know if it's given, but, you know, the whole thing with a Miata is that it drives and it handles like a go-kart. Whether or not you like that term or not, you know, it's true. Typically, a Miata is known to handle like it's on rails, which is 100% what I'm looking for. I'm not, this project isn't going to be a big LS, you know, and everything else like that. I mean, maybe it will in the end, but that's not my current plan. So what I'm thinking is I'm thinking extremely well handling, well balanced, suspension sorted. The extra, which I actually really enjoy as I was looking through a bunch of the parts for the car, and some of them I already knew, but there's specific companies that I've been looking at, like, and I'm not sponsored, I'm not getting anything from them, I'm just literally doing my research off of what other people used, what I find, and where I want to go with the car. One of those is like Flying Miata, which I'm sure is not going to be a surprise to anyone. And they have this really cool frame rail support with cross member, ladder bar setup, something like that. That I really want. Not only does it tighten up the chassis and reduce flex, but it helps support at least for my research, one of the weaker parts of the car. So it's going to be stuff like that. I'm looking for a go-kart handling car. It's a Miata's a momentum car. So we know it's all about staying on the gas as long as you can, using the brakes the least amount, and just getting in and out of the corners. So I want to make a really, really well handling car. That was one of my favorite things about my S2000 that I had, was how well it handled. Even any of my buddies, people I let drive it or whatever else, that was the first comment they would always make. So that's one of the directions with the Miata that I'm looking for. I would like to stay relatively stock body, and for it to look relatively stock, I've got a couple spoiler options and front splitter options that I've been researching. One of the things that I've done in the past with other cars is I run front brake ducts, so I like the idea of cooling the brakes, because as you're driving hard and everything else, you're heating those up. So that's one of the things. So I'm looking at a front lip, front splitter setup where I could also run brake ducts and everything else. But like I said, that's my game plan for the car. And not to make this part just run on for you guys, but is I want go-kart handling, a really good daily driver that I can take to the track, or I can take up into the canyons and just have a ton of fun, or punish people. I mean, have fun with my friends. But really, on the track, it's that momentum car that just won't go away. And there's something about a little tiny car that chases down the bigger cars, chases down the higher horsepower cars, and those cars just can't get away from it. There's something I love about that, and that's the direction I'm going with the project. So you guys comment if you guys have experience with certain suspensions, certain coilovers, if you've installed fender bracings or something and you found that it doesn't work for you, you drop that comment. Like I said, it's great for my own knowledge and direction I'll go for which parts I'm going to get, and it's great for anybody else that's going to be following along with the project. So it's going to be stuff like that. I've got currently two engines. So I've got a 1.6 and a 1.8. Initially, the 1.6 is going to go in the car, and that's kind of the game plan, is to run the 1.6 and then work on this built 1.8. Whether or not something comes about with that or not, I won't know until I actually get back into that engine and kind of tear it apart and make sure what parts are used or not, and whether or not I'm gonna build it or complete building it, or maybe sell it. I'm not sure. There is definitely plenty of debate, and you guys are more than welcome to comment below and keep that debate going of whether or not it's a 1.6 or a 1.8. Which one's more fun? Which one's a happier revving one, and which one because it has more grunt is more fun. So if you guys want to comment below about the 1.6 versus the 1.8, we can talk about that too. And so that's another thing I got going on. Wheels, tires. I mean, there's so many different things. Right now, I've already had to move forward with some new tires on the stock wheels, but I'm looking at couple different sets of aftermarket wheels. One of the sets I'm looking at haven't been made yet. They're still in pre-production, so there's all sorts of fun stuff. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a rundown. You know, as you'd expect out of a Miata, I want go-kart handling. I want a super fun car that I can take up into the canyons, or I can chase down some of the bigger cars on the track and have fun with. So I still don't have a project name for the car. I need a project name. All my last couple sets of cars have been after initial D. There was a red Miata in initial D. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go that route. Anyways, you guys let me know what you think. I'm going to get out of here. What my plan is, along with all of this, is hopefully I'm hoping I can do kind of weekly check-ins with you guys and do something new weekly on the car. That would be actually really cool. I'm trying to get a bunch of parts in, trying to get everything going on this, and then get driving it. So if I can do something weekly for you guys and kind of check in and show something new and, you know, show you some installs of some parts that I got in, that would be what I'd try and do for you. So we'll still be covering, you know, the car shows and Cars and Coffee and everything else. Check in with you guys and show you along the line how the Miata project goes, and hopefully somewhere down there I get some parts for the GTR and I can start, you know, getting that going too. But that'll be it for today. I'll see you guys, hopefully, let me see what I can do. Hopefully I can see you guys in a week and we'll have some sort of progress on the car and we can check in and talk about it and we'll keep going. All right, guys, until the next one, I'll see you. Thanks.